Hello, hello, and welcome back to your weekly show here for B.O.P. Houston Rockets basketball. I got my boy, Coach Dante, here. What's up, Dante?
Oh, what's good, man? Having a good weekend. The Rockets have not had so much of a good weekend. Like I say again, just had a great weekend. Can't wait to get up here and always enjoy getting up here with you and with Pastor and talking about the state of the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been quite a week for us again. It's been awesome, extending our losing streak to 13. We had a crazy game with some dunks by Anthony Edwards. An unfortunate loss that we all predicted on the Hornets. But yeah, let's get right into that, man. So let's talk about that Hornets game. What's up, Dante? What you thought?
Uh, for like the first half, I mean, like I said again, we do good. We do great as usual. In the first two quarters. In the first two quarters, Jalen Green, that was probably his best efficiency game, probably one of his best efficiency games of the season. He was clicking on all cylinders early. KJ Martin, everybody. You know, Jalen Green was phenomenal in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Jabari Smith Jr. Went out with an ankle injury. Definitely struggled. KJ Martin played 32 minutes, 11 points. LP, like I said, have I consistently talked about LP being our consistent player, most consistent player this year. He continues to get the job done. Had a double that night. Eric Gordon, 4 of 10, 1 of 5, not getting it done, missing open shot after open shot. And then we got the bench. Garuba only playing 9 minutes. Jayshawn Tate playing 4 minutes. You got Josh Christopher, who's been solid throughout these first couple of games, but then again, he doesn't get any playing time.
For whatever reason, by the way.
For whatever reason, don't get a chance to play. Now you want to play Tata Washington. You decide to play Tata Washington in the Timberwolves game. But like I say, it was embarrassing. The third quarter, what kind of got me in the third quarter. We turned the ball over 4 times in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter. Most of the points came from McDaniels, one of the McDaniels brother. Most of the points came from off lazy turnovers, lazy steal. Most of the turnovers that we had, we was passing the ball lazy as hell. And they were in the passing lane, and they got fast break after fast break. LaMelo Ball went out with an injury, but then you had guys like Terry Rozier stepping up, doing whatever he wanted to do. Mason Plumlee even had 17 points in this ball game, and we could not defend the paint whatsoever. A rookie, Mark Williams from Duke, who's very good. He doesn't play a lot, but again, those are the guys, that players that continue to hurt us when we not expecting the guy to play the game. Those are the guys that continue to hurt us. Again, we shot 50% from the field. We did great from the field. I mean, that's great. But then again, we made 10 threes. Charlotte beat us making 9, only 9, and shooting 25% from the three-point line.
Absolutely abysmal.
That's absolutely abysmal. We shot 75% from the free throw line. We out-rebounded Charlotte about 10, 47 to 30, 37. We didn't have move the ball around. We had 21 assists. Charlotte had, how many Charlotte assists had? 27. That means they're doing a lot of ball movement. They're moving the basketball around when you get close to 30%. We only had 21 assists. We wasn't moving the basketball at all. And turnovers, we had, how many turnovers we had?
We had 20 damn turnovers.
We had 20 turnovers against Charlotte. We had 20 turnovers, and most of the turnovers was fast break turnovers when we were doing the lazy passing, and it was going on fast break. They had 26 fast break points. You know what that come off of? Our turnovers. 78 points in the paint that Charlotte Hornets had. We just was abysmal. Throughout that second half, and there's no doubt about it. Again, Charlotte did whatever they want, and the fact is, we are worse probably than last year. We are worse probably than last year. No improvement, no anything. And again, we got to go back to the coaching again on that one, on Steven Silas on that one. The guys just completely, give up when they're really down. They'll start forcing shots, turning the ball over, and I don't care. I can't say that we are a young team. We are a young team, but I can't hold that as an excuse because, like Ryan Holland said in that game, we are a better basketball team than this. That we are. We're a better basketball team, and it's no excuse to go out there and consistently lose the game over and over the same crap every single time. Lackadaisical in the second half, turnover after turnover. Whether if it's missed free throws, missed the communication on the defensive side of the basketball, we losing the game literally on the same damn mistakes every single game, and that seems to frustrate us as Rockets fans, and we deserve better than these Rockets out there playing. We can't use the young, that they're young, they're 19, they're 20 as an excuse. They are NBA basketball players. They play better than this. We got guys that could score. We got guys that can go out there and compete, but there's no excuses how lackadaisical we are in every single ball game in the third and fourth quarter, and it continues to frustrate me every time I watch them and frustrate other fans.
Yeah, Dante, you summed that up pretty well, man. I mean, it's just really disappointing at this point. It like we try to cover up their mistakes, like you said, like they're a young team, you know, like it's coaching, but like, I mean, is it? You know, like there's no way that we should be losing 20 games one season, 15 games another season, 13 games this season. I understand being bad. I do. Yeah. We're not like the Charlotte Hornets that were 7-59 at one point. I get that. Like we're not garbage. You know, we can win games, but like comparative to last year to this year, it feels like we were able to at least win some close games, you know, like Jalen Green when he went off last year against the Lakers, that step back three to send it to OT over AD, that was phenomenal. We haven't seen any of that this year at all. You know, it seems like we've been gotten away from the things towards the end of last season that looked really good. We just completely got rid of it. And I mean, like you said, we got guys out here coming out here, you know, Mark Williams shooting 8 for 10 from the field. Who are you? Bryce McGowan's shooting 3 for 4, 2 for 3 from the three. Who are you? Like, and again, this is no disrespect to any actual NBA players. But like, what against the Rockets, man? However, there were a couple of things that I would like to discuss. It did infuriate me that not only did we lose this game, but LaMelo Ball got injured.
In the third quarter.
We still lost. And, you know, to top it off, in that third quarter, you know, which is usually our dead end there, we're outscored by 6. So even with LaMelo out, we still couldn't outscore them. It was 30-24 in that quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, it was 39-33. So we get outscored by 12 points between the combined quarters without their best player. You know, that's inexcusable.
And I want to bring up one more point. I know I said coaching is a part of it, which is, but it's about time we can hold these players accountable too. It's not all on the coaching. When you're out there doing everything consistently, the players like Ryan Hollins said it best, and I definitely agree with him. It's not always coaching. It's these players on the court. They got to go out there and execute at time. Turning the ball over, how we do every single game in the third quarter and not competing. That's sometimes that be the players. And the players don't be locked in all the time. So that's not coaching all the time. These players need to be held more accountable for what they're out there doing and how consistently they turn the ball over and how consistently we continue after game when a guy, like you said, no disrespect. If you in the league, you can play. You can play the game if you're in the league. You can play. If you're on an NBA level, you can play. But no reason why Bryce McGowan should come out and have 3 comfortable threes and wide open. No reason why Mark Williams, who's a solid player who doesn't even play unless an injury happened, do whatever he want to do. No reason for these guys to have 78 points in the paint. No reason to have 20 turnovers in a ball game against Charlotte. This is the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Even without their best player, LaMelo Ball, we can't score. We can't score on them, and we can't stop anybody. Even without Bridges, they don't even have Miles Bridges. We forgot that. They don't even have Miles Bridges. They don't even have him because he's dealing with off the court issues. And again, some of this is on the players. The players got to be held accountable as well from going out there with this lackadaisical every third quarter and every fourth quarter where we literally will have the lead. We show signs of competing, but then again, as the old saying goes, when it rains and it pours, and it keeps pouring and pouring and pouring on us every single time in the second half, and there's no excuse for us not to play, being able to play a full 48 minutes every single night, and it's just embarrassing to watch. And like I said, man, we deserve better than these performances out here. And this team is better than this. This team is really better than this. And like I said again, we know it's always going to be coaching called out and stuff like this. It's always going to be that. It's always going to say fire the coach, fire this, fire that. And I think it's still think we need to change the scenery a little bit, but it's not all on coaching all the time. Sometimes these players need to take accountability.
Yeah, that's yeah, especially on that defensive end. I mean, when their shots aren't falling, at least they have the ability to start passing. I have noticed that, like with Jabari, when his shot isn't falling, like he'll shoot if he's wide open, but he's not forcing it, which I do like about that. But can't say the same for everybody. There were a couple good takeaways from this game though. We had Alperen Sengun with 24 and 12 with 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block. The paint was looking a little sweet on us, I'm not gonna lie, but that's not all on LP. We know he's an undersized center. We know his best skill is in defense. So obviously I'm not trying to defend him here, but I understand he's got his block. He's got his 2 steals as a center. He did what he's supposed to do as a center. I respect it. And he came out and got his 12 boards, and 5 of those were offensive rebounds. I just want to say, no, his offensive rebounding has been very good this season. But 24 points. And then Jalen Green had a nice, tied his career high with 41 points. And he also had 7 assists to go along with that, which looked very, very nice. Again, it was in an L, so it kind of is what it is. But he shot 40% from 3, 5 for 6 from the free throw. So it was looking really promising. But Eric Gordon with a minus 21, team high minus 21. He only played 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
He had minus 21. 1 for 5 from 3, 4 turnovers, 3 fouls, 11 points. I mean, he was looking real good there right before Jalen Green came back. That 5 or 6 game stretch, Green and KPJ was out. Eric Gordon was hooping. He was really showing why he deserved to be traded. Yep. And then he gets alongside Jalen Green, and he I don't know, it's like he's throwing a fit. He's like, oh, well, I'm not the guy on the team, so I can't take my 45 shots. Like, bro, we still love you. Like, I really do. We trying to help you get up out of here, so you need to help us so we can help you.
Yep.
You got to do that. But, at the end of the day, it was good to see No Nation Knicks play.
It's always good when he doesn't play.
Yeah. We had Garrison Matthews play, unfortunately, 14 minutes. He was a +4 with 3 points on 1 for 4 from 3. That's per usual. His casual Gary Bird chuck up shots. But other than that, that was the Hornets game. That was, that was not the best.
Look, I want to campaign, for Tyree Eason, the way he goes out there and play hard. I know sometimes he struggles shooting the ball, but when he's not shooting the ball well, at least he goes out there and give it his all and play defense. At least he goes out there, being aggressive, even though sometimes, he get his shot blocked a lot, but at least he goes out there and attack and be aggressive. And 19 minutes, I think that should be uplifted at least to 20, 21 minutes, 22 minutes a ball game. I think this guy's our future small forward in the NBA. To go out there and compete and almost down there, you can average a double-double if he starts the way he's all over the court and, the way he shoots the ball efficiently from the three-point line and get to the free throw line, not scared to go to the basket, and the way he can defend. Like I say, this guy's our future small forward, and like I say, I think he deserves some more minutes. I think he at least deserves to get up in that 20-ish minutes range at this point. Because if he's not, one thing I like about him, when he comes in the game, the energy his energized bunny automatic goes up. Him and Josh Christopher, they both deserve minutes, man. You played Josh Christopher all last year. Why is he all of a sudden out of the rotation? Why is he all of a sudden not playing? Is it something that Steven Silas got against, Josh Christopher, him not to be playing on a basketball court? He averaged 8.9 points per game, I believe, last year, and he's out of the rotation all of a sudden. I don't understand why is he not playing, but now when someone gets hurt, now he's in the rotation. He's in the rotation, and I think, like I say again, I love Josh Christopher. He's one of my favorite guys on the Rockets, him and Tyree Eason. And every time he got in the game last year, you saw how much he played. He has an improved shot. He loves to attack the rim. And like I said, I think these guys should definitely get more minutes, especially Tyrese and the way he gets out there and he plays and he give it all he got.
Is that energy that we really need,
Yep.
especially in the starting lineup. Jabari comes in with energy, so I appreciate
Yep.
him. He's also I think the rookie difference is he was handed that starter position, right?
Yep.
I know we talked about this last episode, being handed certain things and not necessarily having to work for everything they got. Shout out John Wall. But I really think inserting a lineup of something along the lines of Jalen, Shangun, Bari, and Eason, and whoever you want as your 1 or 2. KPJ, which is when he comes back. But I would like that as a starting lineup.
Yeah, I do too.
But I'm starting to come around to the idea of having KJ be our straight up 6th man, and then having Tari start, because his, like I said, his energy, his defensive mind, and like he's actually making his layups now. If he's not getting blocked, he's actually making his layups. And we did say
he's before, a better shooter. He's a better versatile shooter than KJ Martin. KJ Martin too. You getting a 37% 3-point shooter, but I like KJ Martin coming off the bench, and KJ Martin has played absolutely well this season. And he's coming off the bench. And when you say coming off the bench as a 6 man, that can be starters minutes at times. Minutes at time, depending on how Tyree Easton plays and how someone doesn't play well in the lineup. I like that. I actually like that lineup. And like I said, if someone calls and ask for a trade, if they giving up, if you trying to trade Jayshawn Tate, I would actually depending on what they want to give, what they want for him, I would actually trade Jayshawn Tate. If it's a call coming in and want Jayshawn Tate, I would actually trade him. If it's the right deal, I would actually trade him.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. But moving on towards the game, as per usual for the Wolves, it was a 104-113 loss. And as always, we were leading in the second quarter by 2. We were leading, and then we got outscored by 5, 32-37 in the third, and then outscored by 6, 20-26 to end the game, 104-113 in the second half there. They had 54 points in the paint. So we had just gave up almost 80 points in the paint last game. So that's almost a 30-point difference. I'll give us that. But 54 points is still a lot of dang points to give up in the paint, especially to a Wolves team that doesn't have Rudy Gobert, doesn't have Karl Anthony Towns. No excuses at this point, We were out-rebounded as per usual. Their bench had 6 more points than us, 30-36. And we had 21 turnovers to their 11. That is just astronomical. 21 turnovers. Wow,
that's crazy. So we had 20 against a worse Charlotte team, and we had 21 against not so good Minnesota. The Minnesota Timberwolves team, who's 500, 24-24, who's not good, who wasn't really that good at all with Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. But you got guys that don't, again, the same. You got guys that don't really even play. You got Jalen Knight. What is this guy? Jalen Knight. He doesn't even play. The only reason he's playing because of injury. And how many points did he have? 25 minutes. He had 19 points.
He had 19 points.
19 points. 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. Torian Prince plays off the line when he's on the court. But this is what I'm talking about. You got guys out there that don't even play basketball for this team.
Luka Garza
don't even play unless someone is hurt, and he goes out there and he can get out. But the main difference, Anthony Edwards. Again, Anthony Edwards in that third quarter was unstoppable. Whatever it was, now I get if he can make a shot and if he can make a 3-point shot, a tough 3-point shot, so be it. But I mean, I can't get mad at Alp because he got dunked on. At least he tried to get up there and
he tried to play D.
Yeah, he tried to play defense, and Anthony Edwards just athletic as you know what, and he was just able to get the better of him. So you can't get mad at saying that's gonna come. You're gonna get dunked on, but at least he tried to contest. But we let Anthony Edwards do whatever he want again, free rim, go to the rim. We turned the ball over like crazy in that third quarter. I mean, it was 3 straight possessions where I was just seeing nothing but turnovers and us just self-destruct in the third quarter over and over and over again. And like I said, again, it's just, really embarrassing to watch this team just give up lead after lead after lead. And like I said again, Anthony Edwards just did whatever he want, and Jalen Knight, you got guys that don't even play, that's not even in the rotation, can come in and have just success against us. And like I said, you got to go back to the players. You got to go back to the players on this again, man, for not giving up the effort, for not giving the effort, turning the ball over in the third quarter and rattling in the third quarter. Jalen Green had an abysmal game in this game.
Oh my
This in
gosh.
this game, it was just so pathetic of the game that he had. It was like I say, he shoots good. The Charlotte game, he shot terrific. This game was just a straight up downgrade, just horrible. And again, you got to get more shooting efficiency from Jalen Green if we want to have any shot of winning ball games, because we don't have a shot of going into any ball game and winning the way we play.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely facts. I mean, Jalen really shot 3 for 13 that game, and with 10 points. You know, like you just dropped 41. You just dropped 41. My Jalen Green agenda came right out real quick on Twitter right after he dropped 41, and then I had to roll it back real quick back up because he dropped a monstrous 10 points on 13 shots. I mean, man, it's hard
Yeah,
being a Rockets fan right now.
it
It's
is.
real hard. One good thing though, LP in 37 minutes of play, 7 for 9 from the field, shot almost 80%. He did shoot 4 for 10 from three. Yeah, he did shoot 4 for 10 from the free throw, but I will give him this: he is a center, so that 50 to 65% range is where we want. A little low, 4 for 10. He should have made a couple more. It's fine. He is 1 for 1 from three. Of course, for some reason, every time he decides to shoot a three, it's been going in lately.
I like him to take more of those. I like him to take more of those. I want him to take more of those.
Yes. He also had 19 points, 3 blocks, a steal, 7 assists, and 16 rebounds. The man's putting up 2K numbers on the Rockets, and we're still losing. You know, this man is really trying to do it all. I did appreciate KJ trying to get involved. He had 15 points, 9 rebounds. That looked really nice. Still no Dacian Nix. At least they're hearing us. You know, we just don't want him no more.
Yeah, great.
Garrison Matthews, he had 4 out of 5 free throws. I didn't know he had that many free throws, actually. He shot 4-5 from the free throw. He shot 2 for 3 from the field, and he only took 2 3-pointers, which I think is the least amount of 3-pointers he's taken in the last 7 games. He's usually taking 4 or 5, making one of them. That felt good. We did have Jayshawn Tate coming into this game. He was a -7 off the bench, but you know he had 8 points, 3 boards, and 4 assists. I'll take it. And Josh Christopher played pretty well, 5 for 9. You know he had 10. He had the same amount of points as Jalen Green did, except he only needed 9 shots.
Yep.
Yeah. I played this game. He did not hit his floater. But.
The guy's a player. The guy's a player as a ball player when he gets in the game. He makes a difference when he gets in the game. The guy can put points on the board. He can score. We got several guys that if you play them, they can come off the bench. They can score with instant offense. Tyrese and even chipped in. He had 13 points in the 13 points in this game. He had 14 points in this game. So again, he was even good. So like we got guys that can play. We got guys that can score the basketball. It's just. I mean, we seem to unravel and not put together all 48 minutes. Garuba coming off the bench with 11 minutes, only 0 points, but that's not his game. He's not on there in there to score. He's in there just to do the dirty work. He has 7 rebounds. I like that. I like the rebounds. Like I say, like when he come in, he gets rebounds. And 2 assists and play some good defense. I kind of like that. But again, once he's open, I like to see him have confidence and shoot the basketball, you know, just to keep the defense a little bit of an honesty, you know, that way when he starts hitting it, you know, they can be like, oh, man, this guy's stretching the floor now. It can make it more difficult for the Rockets to guard. And I want LP to start shooting the basketball more from the outside on pick and pop situation. If he can start making that at least a 33% rate, this guy can be unstoppable to guard. And I like his aggressiveness too, man. He's not afraid to come at you and post you up, and he makes everybody better. Man, that behind the back pass that he did to Josh Christopher was amazing.
How did he see him?
I don't understand. How did he see him? That was a perfect right there.
Yeah, that was absolutely phenomenal. To your point about him being a 33% 3-point shooter, he is a 30% 3-point shooter right now, which is improved from his 25% from last year. He's improved 5%. He's
Okay.
taken less threes, making less. He's taken 0.7 threes a game and only making 0.2. However, his last couple games, he's been wet like water. I think he's like 4 for 4 in his last 5 games from 3.
Okay.
Which I'm okay with. I don't
okay
need
with
him.
it. Yeah.
I don't need him to shoot 100 threes a game, but just shoot one three a
Yeah.
game, and I'm cooling. I'm cooling. His
I'm cool
stats have also increased this season. Originally, I think our 4th episode, he was only averaging 13 points and 7 rebounds. He's now averaging 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Like that, almost a double a ball game. Love big time improvement for LP. I'm like I said, we got to give him some help every single night, man. Like I said again, Jalen Green has the potential. I know Jalen Green has averaged 21 points per game this year, so again, it's a big step up. But I just need him to shoot more efficient from the field. If he shoots more efficient from the field, imagine how many points he averages, man. He averages easy 26, 27 points per game. If he shoots more efficient, he can get to the free throw line. But I just need him to shoot more and more efficient, man. So like I say, that's the only thing I question him about, man. He's a ball player. This guy, I still think he's going to be a superstar in this league. He's going to be a multiple time all-stars in this league, several all-star games. So that's a big jump from 17 last year, from the 21 from his second year. But in order to get up there, you gotta be able to shoot efficiency, and that's the one thing he lacks consistency at is shooting efficient from the field.
Yeah. Once he gets that down, like you said, I still believe he'll be a leading scorer in like a league scorer, like a Carmelo type. But who knows at this point? I mean, if our coach keeps dragging him through the mud, it might be wasted potential, and I would hate to see that.
Yeah,
I would really hate to see something along those lines. But it's enough negativity from these games. We're going to move on to something a little bit more negative. I'd like to talk about our losing streaks over the last couple of years. Oh boy, aren't we happy? So right now we stand at 13. 13 games losing straight up. That is the league's active losing streak. It is also the most games lost in a row this season. Again, the last time we did this was in 2021. So just last year. We lost 15 games in a row in that stretch, and that is tied for 3rd in most franchise history for games lost in a row. Crazy. Now, here's another one. In 2021, that where we had John Wall, Christian Wood, and all that, that losing streak was 20.
20 games,
That is the largest losing streak in franchise history.
That's crazy, man.
Here's the commonality. Okay. Why would they do this, meme? Steven Silas.
Yep.
Since he came in, it's just been nothing but L after L after L. And speaking of L's, this season in these these games we've lost, these 13 games in a row we've lost, we've been losing by 14.5 points per game. We are losing by blowouts in these 13 games we've lost in a row.
Most of them comes in the third quarter, in the second half. The blowouts, most of them is in the second half. We have the lead in the first half. Most of them be in the second half, and teams just literally run away with the game in the second half, and we just cannot stop the bleeding. If you a coach and you're Steven Silas, you gotta be able to stop this bleeding at some point, man. We can't continue to have leads over and over. Whether if it's a 20-point lead, whether if it's a 15-point lead, you're not feeling comfortable as a fan that we're gonna hold this lead. Think about the last time we played Minnesota. How many points we were up on Minnesota? We was up 22 points in the second quarter. They got the lead down to about 4 at halftime, and they end up whooping us in the third quarter. In San Antonio, that game, we had the lead in the second quarter, and what happened? The same thing that happened the previous night in San Antonio. They did it in the Toyota Center again. So it's been the second half lapses that really happened. Sacramento, you go back to Sacramento, we both predicted when I said we had a lead in the fourth quarter. Guess what? We lost it in the fourth quarter because of Trey Lyles. In this game, we were about 12 in the third quarter. 12 pretty much in the middle of the third quarter, and guess what? We lost the lead due to turnovers and Anthony Edwards and Jalen Knight just doing whatever he wants to do. So again, most of the blowout leads has been in the third quarter. I've been in the third quarter when we had the lead, and guess what? Charlotte happens again, outscores us in the third quarter.
It's just really sad. At what point do you just say if you're in the front office right now, you're the team owner, and you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing your franchise, your championship caliber franchise for the last, people just argue for 2 years. I'll say 6 years with James Harden there. But those 6 years he was there, 6 out of his 8 years, that was a championship roster, right? He
Yeah,
had they had the potential to win. So if you're sitting in the front office right now as the president or the team owner, you see your team just lose and lose and lose, and that's bad for revenue. At what
yep,
point do you just walk in there and pull the dang plug?
yep,
I mean,
yep. How long you gotta wait?
yeah. When do you stop the bleeding? Usually, I want to say the second it happens, you wrap it up with some gauze and get to where you need to go. Here,
Yep,
we're not even throwing on the band-aid. We just letting
yep.
it go. We bleeding out. we losing. We really is bad,
Yeah,
man.
hey, it is one point that I want to kind of touch on. That you brought it up early. You brought it up early. The John Wall thing, and John Wall said that we were a bad organization, which is like when he a player that caliber comes out and say something like that, that's a bad look for the organization. That's a really bad look, man. And I'm starting to think that we are a frustrating organization. We are a bad, disgruntled organization. The moment that he comes out and he says he got traded in Houston, and he said James Harden went to Lil Baby's party, didn't even welcome him, and he was trying to tell him, "Do you want to get on the plane with him?" And he said, "Man, I just got traded. I'm getting ready for my press conference." That's a terrible look. And then he said in the middle of that interview, "We tanking. We were tanking anyway. We weren't trying to win." That's a terrible look. That we were tanking anyway. Then he said, "You got guys like Robert. You got Patrick Patton. He called out Patton. He called out Nwaba. He said, "Who the hell is going to win with this?
Yeah.
And we couldn't win with it." So that is a bad look for this organization right here, man. It's a really bad look. And to know that Jalen Green and KPJ were just doing what they want to do and stuff, and John Wall just trying to tell them and they weren't listening. That's a really terrible look for this team and this organization.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say that we are a terrible organization, but we've made terrible moves and terrible mistakes. So
Yep.
again, like to your point, just handing Jalen Green, KPJ, and
Yo.
Jabari Smith Jr. just these starting roles. Like, by the way, your cornerstone pieces start. I
Yo.
know that it's a trend to start your top 3, top 4, top 5 pick. However, you've got bench guys that are really producing, and you're not showing them any love, but you're showing these newbies, these rookies, that kind of love. Like KJ
Yep.
earlier in the season, again, for all you, I do love Bari. I do think he is a starter, so I just want to put that out there. But right in that moment when we first got Jabari Smith, I was like, dang, there goes KJ's starting spot. Because we traded Christian Wood, so we knew LP was starting, or we thought
Yep.
LP was starting, and then they tried the Bruno, and that's where we know what happened with that.
Yep.
But we knew LP was starting, we knew Jalen Green was starting, we knew KBJ was starting. We assumed that Eric Gordon was going to start, even though we should have traded his butt last season for that late first round pick. Didn't, kept him. So there was only one starter spot. We knew it was Jabari was getting it. Jay Sean deserved it at that time. KJ deserved it at that time. I would have liked to seen another rookie. Had those guys not been started, Tari started at that time. But no, we're starting Eric Gordon. And his effort alone hasn't been good. But that's not a topic for another time. But anyway, we have the potential to be a good organization because we have traded players well. James Harden wanted to go to Brooklyn. We sent him to Brooklyn.
Yep.
PJ Tucker wanted to go to a championship caliber team. He went to the Bucks and won a championship. We were doing good things for other guys, but Eric Gordon and John Wall, we wanted to get Eric Gordon out of there, or the fans wanted to get Eric Gordon out of there. The organization made a mistake and wanted to keep Eric Gordon. The fans wanted to get Christian Wood up out of here mid-season last year because of his effort, him being lazy on defense. We were tanking. He didn't care for that. We waited to the offseason to trade him to Dallas, which Dallas looks pretty okay right now. And then John Wall, we really sat him on the bench all year. We did offer him that 6-man role, but he said he wanted to start. It's John Wall. He making $45 million a year. He should have started.
Yep. Like he said in the interview, you don't just give a person a spot. And he was pissed off. He was pissed off about it. You can tell in his voice and how he voiced it out. He was frustrated. He said, "Don't just come in and just give someone a spot. Let him earn the spot. And he said it himself, just exactly what you said. He didn't mind coming off the bench. He said, make him work for it. Just make him work for it. And everything John Wall says, which is like I say, I agree with him. And I hate he got treated like this. And he called the organization trash. And for that we were trash. We were trash at that time. I got to be honest with you on that part right there. And I sense and I feel for John Wall how bad he was treated in Washington a little bit at his tail end of it, and how bad he was treated here. And he said, don't just give him a spot, let him earn it. He's trying to, help the young guys out, and just saying, if y'all was go to another organization with this crap right here, you guys would not play. And he wasn't lined up on that one because he's been an all-star in this league. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals. He was one of the top point guards in the league this year. So a couple of years back. So you're gonna listen to him, and you're gonna know when he says he was in the locker room and he was a part of the organization, so he knows the organization. So again, I mean, we can straighten it up. I know we can get talented enough player. I know we can straighten it up, but by him coming out and saying that's kind of a bad look. And I don't like kind of the look of this, and the potential. I don't like the look. I just don't like the look of it. I know we're going to get better. Just don't like the look of it. Him coming out saying that. That can question, will we be able to get people in free agency now that comes out? Will we get people to come play for us? And like I said, again, that's just a bad look for John Wall. And I felt for John Wall and his frustration that time. And he making money for free and not playing, and which is he wanted to play. He just came out and said, all I wanted to do was hoop. That's all I wanted to do. And they just gave Jalen Green the spot. Just gave Jalen Green. And John Wall is a starting caliber point guard in this league. He dropped 20 points a night. When he played on the court with us, he still dropped 20 points a night. So again, I gotta applaud John Wall for coming out and what he said. And it's not a good look at him. It was frustrated. And Steven Silas again, and he said the front office said, we want to start Jalen Green. They want you on the bench. But again, you're the head coach. You're out there calling the shots at the end of the day on the sideline. He should start, then you start him. Yep. You start him. You're the head coach. You can make the adjustments. I know the organization wants you to start him. The GM wants you to start. That makes me feel like you're a whooping boy right there. That makes me feel like you a yes man to someone, to Raphael Stone. Yep. You're the coach. You're the head coach. At the end of the day, Raphael Stone brought you in to coach the basketball team. At the end of the day, you call the shots at the practices. You call the shots in game. If you're telling John Wall he deserves to start, then you start him. And you start out with Jalen Green on the bench. It is your team at the end of the day. We know Raphael Stone and Tillman Fertitta. We know they're a part of the team. Raphael Fertitta owns the team, and we know Raphael Stone is the GM. But you're the coach, and any adjustments you need to make, you can make the adjustments. You can make the starting lineup. So if you're saying John Wall should start, then you should have started him right there. You were the coach of the team.
And he really shouldn't have been fearing for his job at that point, because no one wanted to coach the Rockets.
Yes.
So honestly, at that point in time, you should have used your position to help your boy out that you said deserved to start. And I mean, like you said, he averaged 20 points a game for us. He also averaged 7 assists for us that year.
Yes.
I mean, coming back after not doing anything for an entire season, plus the season prior in 2018-19, I believe he only played 30. Yeah, he only played 30 games and then tore that Achilles, and then he only played 40 games for us. He was really good. I advocated for him to be an all-star had our team not been so garbage. I would have loved for him. And
had he not got hurt along with Christian Wood, you remember when we played Memphis and we blew out Memphis, and Christian Wood got hurt. We was 11-11 at that time. We was in literally in the 8 playoff spot at that time before Christian Wood rolled his ankle and John Wall got hurt the very next game against San Antonio, which that game was a heartbreaker. And after that, the roof kind of fell off. And the next time John Wall came back was against Toronto. We snapped a 20-game losing streak. So John Wall had some value to this team. But again, at the end of the day, that made me show that Steven Silas is a yes man. For Raphael Stone said, we want you to start. We want you to come off the bench. We want you to start Jalen Green. And how would you feel about being a 6 man? At the end of the day, you're the head coach. Like you said, Didn't nobody want to coach the squad because we was already a dumpster fire going into the off season from
Yeah.
losing Russell Westbrook and James Harden in the same damn off season after one season because Russell Westbrook couldn't get along with Harden on the same team in the COVID year hit, and Russell Westbrook was kind of rushed back in that playoff stretch. I
Yeah.
feel like, and again, at the end of the day, you're the head coach. You make the shots. You call what it is. You call it what it is. If you wanted John Wall to start, and you're saying to John Wall, "Hey, you deserve to start," then you should have started him. They won.
Should have advocated for him
Yeah,
to start.
Jalen Green should have been coming off the bench, and whatever Raphael Stone them said, if they fire him, they fire you at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, that's his team. That's Steven Silas' team. He was named the coach of that team.
Yep. No, absolutely. I agree with you. I really liked the John Wall, Harden, Christian Wood duo at that time. He looked really good, but it's just really rough. Trying to even defend Silas ever. Because he has his smart moments. He does. In my opinion, he does. But then he just does so much bad. It's hard to even remember when Silas did that, and you're like, oh yeah. 20 games ago. Remember when man, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. And
when you're on a losing streak, like when you're on these 20-game losing streaks, and when you're on a 13-game losing streak and losing streaks for 3 years in a row, it's hard to defend a coach like that.
It's 40. That's 48 games lost in a row combined for all three of those streaks. And then that's over half the season.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So at the end of the day, when you're losing like this, it is hard to say it's not the coach. And I know Steven Silas, came in with James Harden disgruntled, and you have to deal with that mess. Him throwing the basketball at teammates and Jayshawn Tate getting into it. Then you got to deal with DeMarcus Cousins. You have to deal with him. And that disgruntled, and with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins did not like to be on the same team with James Harden. They came out and said James Harden didn't really want to play, which is he didn't. He quit on the team and said we wasn't good enough, which is he wasn't lying. We wasn't good enough at this moment. The games that we did end up losing, when we should have won the Portland game in overtime pretty much that year. And at the end of the day, he had to come in to some fire. But again, you keep losing, putting up these 20-game losing streaks, these 15s, these 13, which look like it could get even more and more worse this year. And it's hard to defend losing. It's hard to defend a coach when you're losing like this. And at this point, like we said last weekend, Steven Silas is just not a great head coach. He's just not that much of a head coach. And it's hard to defend when you're losing, defending when you're losing.
Absolutely. I'm still kind of on that Frank Vogel, Kenny Atkinson train from the last game. I've been looking into that. But whatever happens to Silas, like I said, wish him the best. Love the man as a person.
Yeah, as a person.
But as a coach, I got nothing good to say, So I just don't say it. Just don't say it. So we've talked a lot of negativity on this show today. So maybe let's move in something a little bit more positive territory, if you will. I like to talk about who we believe is Houston's best player, case per case right now, right? Some will argue that LP is for his consistency. Some will argue KPJ for his duality. Others will argue Jalen for his potential. So I would like to talk about Houston's best player, all right? I'd like to talk about LP, whether it be LP for his consistency this season, whether it be KPJ for his duality, whether it be Jalen Green for his potential, or another player. However, I want to talk about who the best player is on our team right now. Not for potential, not who we think it is for the future. I want to say who right now this season who has been our best player. And I think you'll agree with me, Dante. Our best player has been LP.
Yep, I've been saying that all season long for so far. I think LP has been our best player this whole season. Yes, Jalen Green averaged more points, but if you look at on the floor, outside of the Boston game when he didn't score any points, outside of that Boston game, LP has been our best and most consistent player. The way he gets everybody involved, he is a very good playmaker. It speaks volume for itself because the pass that he made to Josh Christopher the last night's game was a sick behind the back pass and right there, perfect in rhythm right there where he can two-hand dunk the basketball, and he just does so much for this team. So Alp been our best player so far all year long, and like I say, Jalen Green, like you said, has the potential, but as of right now, Alp has been no doubt our best player.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, he's improved not only from last year, but this season alone. You know,
Yep.
if the most improved player award was from this season, you know, who started from the first game of the season until now, I mean, it's
Yep.
definitely LP. I know his assists only say either, you know, he's getting 3 assists a game, you know, averaging 3.3 assists a game, but I mean, just the way he gets these assists, you know, with
Mm-hmm.
such low turnover ratio efficiency. And that's why everyone wanted to call him the baby Joker, is because
Yep.
he does like not the same efficiency, but he does anything Jokic can do. I mean,
Yep.
Jokic is a solid 3 point shooter, and over the
Yep.
last 4 or 5 years, he's started to develop a much better 3 point shot. And
Yep.
LP this season alone has started to develop a much better 3 point shot. I just love everything he does.
Yep.
I understand that he's young, so he's gonna have things he's gonna work on. That's fine. But I mean, him working out with Hakeem last year really showing right now. I mean, from how quickly he wants to do his ball fakes to the post dribble spin arounds, those driving spins. I'm just every time he plays, I'm getting out of my seat at least for 2 or 3 of his plays. I love that man.
Man, I love him to death too, man. Like I said again, he's been our best player hands down on the court. Ready if he was KPJ on the court, I think he's still been our best player, and it speaks volume for itself because Jokic even came out and said they need to run the offense through Alp.
Mm-hmm.
When we was playing in Denver and he went back and forth every time Jokic went at him. He gets the ball, he comes right back at Jokic, and Jokic said, "Yes, this is probably the Rockets' best player. They need to run everything right through him." And I definitely agree. He's right, and he's been outside of the Boston game. The Boston game, Boston just great at defense. They know how to play defense, no matter if it's a smaller defender on them or not like that. Boston is a great all-around defense. They play team defense really, really well, but it's still no excuse for him not to score any points. But outside of that, he's been our best player this year. Like I say, he's been our best player this year for his playmaking, rebounding the basketball. He's not the best defender, but I'm gonna say he's a solid. He's a good defender. I'm gonna say that
Yeah.
when you play against guys like Sabonis or something, they're gonna score. They're gonna get their points. But it's how he was playing them. He was playing them tough. He was playing them really tough. Mark Williams is not all on him when he played. When Mark Williams was dunking the basketball like crazy, getting whatever he wants to. He competes on the defensive side of the basketball. That's what I like. And he's starting to step up on screens a little bit more. Blocking, protecting the rim. And I like his willingness, just to compete, man, just to play hard. So I'm gonna say his defense is good. His defense is pretty good, right? Pretty good right now. I mean, again, you have to go against some of the best in the league, man, at the power forward center position. It is hard to keep him on lot, but he plays his best. He competes hard, and if you can play competitive and you go out there, you work and you can compete. Hey, man, I'm all down for it. And LP, like I said, he's been our best player. He's our best player this year as of right now. He's our best player.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. You know, another thing is like his effort too. I
Yep.
know. I know. Last pod we talked about how he runs. You know, he look a little goofy sometimes how he running. But man, I don't care. He is running full speed. You can tell he's got the jets on when he's running. And it again, he a little slow. You know, he's size. He like 280 at
Mm-hmm.
6'10. You know, but he's trying, and that's what I care about. Is it's his effort level. That is
Yep.
why I love what he is out there with Tari,
Yep.
because Tari out there, and Tari is able to kind of cover with Jabari. They got the wide wingspan there. So if
Yep.
they can kind of cover and hover around that paint area and just let LP sit in 1 or 2 spots, I mean that's a fantastic defensive back front court. Only
Yep.
only if our guards stop being lazy.
Yep. That
Jalen,
that
I'm talking to you, bro.
that.
I
Hey,
need you. I need you to stop getting beat on screens and then letting them go. You just like stand there and throw your
yep.
hands up, like, oh man, no, just hustle, bro. Even if he gets all the way to the rim, act
Yep.
like you care.
Yep.
Act like you care.
And you know what? It was just something that hit me right in the head. We drafted pretty well. We drafted great guys. We drafted LP. We got him late in the first round and pick, I believe, pick 23. We got him late. Was it pick 15 or pick late pick 23? I believe it was one of those picks that we got LP. We got LP in. Josh Christopher. last year. I mean, we got Tari Eason late in the first round. Tata Washington. Huh?
LP was pick 16.
Yeah, 16. We moved backwards. I think we moved up in the draft. We moved backwards. We moved backwards to pick him. And we picked the Garuba. So we drafted pretty well. Again, man, it's just a lack of consistency in coaching, man. Not putting the players where they supposed to be. But most of these, like I say, be on the players, man. But again, when you're constantly losing over and over and again, you can't just we all can't. It's hard to defend the coach and saying he doesn't got a good team around him. But again, these guys are professional basketball players. They got to go out there and they got to play that. They got to play basketball. They got to act like they can't keep losing on the same mistakes. You obviously seen we can play 2 quarters. We just can't play 4 quarters. We can't play 4 quarters. That's the problem. We show signs. Hey, we can compete with these teams. Like we show signs that we can compete with the Lakers. We show signs that we can compete with the Warriors. The first game that we played against them, that you can argue before Curry went on his temper tantrum in the fourth quarter.
Curry and Clay.
That was crazy. And Clay was slumping. Coming into that game, he gets off of his slump. That game. But guess what? We lost the game close. That's a positive. Then we go into Oracle. We get beat down a little bit, but then we come back in the fourth quarter. See, if we can beat good teams, but how can you do that if you're not playing all 4 quarters? We can never play all 4 quarters. And we beat Phoenix in Phoenix. So that shows you some little bit of a potential that we got. We got the players, obviously, to compete with anybody. But can you get it in them to get all 4 quarters up out of them in all 48 minutes? And we have yet to do that all season long. We haven't done it all season long, besides the wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad that we still only have 10
wins. And I know. Is this worse than last year? Did we have 10 wins by this point?
I think we had 11 wins at least in January.
Okay.
I know our 10th win was that December. It was around Christmas time when we got our 10th win last year, and then our 11th one came in like mid or early January. So either way, we are on pace to have a worse record this year than we did last year. And last year we had Christian Wood, who looks like an all-star this season.
Yep.
What?
But it was good to get him up out of here because he started having locker room issues with players. So you had to get him up out of here. He wanted to win. And it was times in games. You go back to the Warriors game when he got called out. And he didn't want to come back in the game against Denver. When he didn't want to come back in the game the next night, what he started doing? He started passing the ball on purpose. He didn't want to score. He started passing it on purpose. And didn't even score against Golden State. He passed the game on purpose. So you just had to get him up out of here. He clearly didn't want to play no more. And he clearly quit up on the teams a whole bunch of games. He clearly quit. So you had to make that decision.
No, absolutely, and I'm glad that we ended up getting rid of him. He played so poorly with us, and then he goes over to Dallas, and again, he looks like an all-star. I mean, it's just I never cease to be amazed when it comes to our team, and pardon my language, YouTube shitting on players. I mean, it's just bad. I mean,
what's the point about it? Dallas, with him even playing like that, Dallas is worse though. Dallas is it's worse when they got them. They're worse. They made the Western Conference Finals last year. They're worse, actually.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think if we go side combo, I don't think that they should have made Western Conference. To be honest with you, I don't think they were good enough to make it. I do think that was a little bit of I think it was like as fake as Atlanta making the Eastern Conference Finals the year prior. It's I like Luka. I do. I hate on him. Because he gets love for things that James Harden and Russell Westbrook do, and they get hated on, but they give Luka love. But that's just me.
You could.
I don't. The Mavs ain't going. Oh yeah. What am I to criticize another team when I'm a Houston Rockets fan?
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up here soon. I would like to talk about
Okay.
trade deadline moves before we go. Here. So before the trade deadline, I think there are a couple players we would like to see either traded or gone from the team.
Okay.
You probably have a little list of your own in your head.
Yeah.
I got a little list. I'll read my list and then you can just compare with me and see what's going on. Okay. So my first guy I want gone is Eric Gordon.
That's the first one. That's the legit first one.
Yep. I want him gone. I want some picks. And no, I don't want those 4 second-round picks that the Bucks are trying to offer for him. I want a late first-round pick.
First round, yes. Yep.
Yeah. It can be the last pick of the first round. I don't care, but it's gotta be a first-round pick. But let's get him out of there. The next guy I want gone, and we don't gotta trade him. I just want him gone. Dacian Nix. The G League Vipers can have him. They can have him. I don't want him, bro. I don't want him. Next, I got Garrison Matthews. Again, love you, bro. Last year was real fun. Gary Bird, Linsanity was great. This season, it ain't it, Chief. It ain't got that same sparkle, that same shine to it. I need you gone, cuz.
Yep.
Next up, I got Bruno Fernando.
Yep.
I don't know why we signed him 4 years. I would rather.
He's not even playing. Yep.
He's not even playing. I'd rather eat that contract and get him up out of here. Either let's trade him or cut him. One of the ones. And finally on my list, I got Jayshawn Tate. Love the guy, and I would like him to be traded.
Yep. We got the same. We got the same guys, pretty much. It's the same. It's the same. Eric Gordon should be the first move. Eric Gordon should be the first move. I would like to trade him for a first round pick. First round pick, like pick 28, 29, up in that range right there. Bruno Fernando, we paid him. He just gave away money. We paid him. We're not even playing him. It's obvious that you need to get him somewhere where he can play at. Garrison Matthews, I don't care. We release him. I believe someone is going to want to shoot him. I wouldn't mind if we take a late second round pick. Just do anything to get him up out of here. Do any type of pick. We know he ain't worth no first round pick. Late second round, I take him. I get him up out of here. Jayshawn Tate, I think a contending team is going to want him. I think a contending team that's in a playoff hunt is probably going to want him. So at the end of the day, I think Jayshawn Tate is. If they get calls, I think they would consider it. And I got a wild card guy, and I know it's going to frustrate you, and I know it will definitely frustrate me if it happens, because I don't know his demeanor, and I don't know if he wants to still be here. I don't know. KJ Martin. I don't know because you know it came out in the offseason that he wants to start, and his daddy, Swift Kenyon Mark, said he should be starting. So I don't know if he still wants out. I don't know. And Houston have not paid him. Either. So at the end of the day, he's eligible. If they you wonder if the right deal come up, will the Rockets consider trading him? I think that still can be on the table. Or is he playing this good because the value could go up to get a late first round pick or an early second round pick? Huh?
KJ's been playing great. Yeah, I think we need a first.
I think it would be a first, but I don't think it would be high like a early first round pick or like in the middle. I just think it would be like in the 20s, or probably like in the middle of the 20s or something. But that's a wild card. Now I would be frustrated if we trade him. Now I would be really frustrated if we trade him. And you can talk to a young guy like that, say, we're not giving you up. We're not trading you. We're going to keep you a part of Houston. But Jayshawn Tate, definitely Eric Gordon. I would definitely trade them. But KJ Martin, I would definitely try to hold. If I'm the organization, I will hold on to KJ Martin. I will hold on to KJ Martin. I would not trade KJ Martin. I would kind of hold on to him, talk to him and say, hey, we're not letting you go. We're not going to trade you. Everybody else that we both named, they're eligible. They can go, including Jayshawn Tate. He can go help out a contending or a playoff team, including him. He can go, and I think most of that will be Tari Easton minutes, and I think it will start opening up for guys like Josh Christopher and Tata Washington once we get some of those guys up out of here. So My wild card is KJ Martin because I don't know if he still wants out, and he hasn't got paid yet. He hasn't got paid yet, so I don't know. I don't know how comfort level he wants to be in Houston.
We do have him rights till the 2024 offseason. So even if we didn't trade him this season, didn't offer him a contract this season, he could complain all he wants. But we can keep him
that's what I'm saying.
2024
That's what I'm saying. If I'm KJ Martin, I don't care if he wants to trade or not. I'm keeping him. You don't have to trade him. You don't have to give him up. Yep. You can find a way to get that worked out. You can find a way to get that worked out and kind of make him a little bit more happy because he's been playing well and you look like I say he deserves a start. He deserves a start. You know, he deserves a start. He's been playing well this season. He's been consistent coming off the bench too, as well. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would really hate to see him go. But if we can get a deal done because he doesn't want to be here, I'd rather send him somewhere where he's happy and we get a good package back versus letting him walk for nothing in 2023, 2024. That would be a mistake on our part.
Yeah, now if he's causing problems and don't want to play and having a blow up, then that's when it's time to get him. If he gets to that, then you let him get up. Then you get him out of here if he gets to that. If he gets that bad.
Yeah, if he's pulling a Christian Wood, he's got to go. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us. We're gonna do our tankathon spin as we do. Right now, we have the best odds to get the number one pick as per usual, and we're sitting at 52.1% to get a top 4 pick along with Detroit, Charlotte, and San Antonio. So we have the best odds right now to get the first pick. It's unfortunate we got to do a tank spin. It's us, Detroit, Charlotte, Antonio, and Orlando for the top 5 picks right now. Let's see what it gives us. It's only fitting. It's only fitting. Detroit gets Wimby.
Damn.
And we get Scoot. We go down to number 2.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be quite interesting. I'll read 1 through 5. So it's Detroit, us, San Antonio, Orlando, and then Charlotte as our top 5 that move around. We cannot let Detroit get Wimby.
We can't.
And Wimby.
That would be crazy.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Well, I think that'll do it for us on this show. Sorry, guys, it's been all doom and gloom, but you know it. When the sky is falling here in Houston, it falls pretty dang quick, pretty hard. I am your host, Preston, and you can find me on Twitter at drip2ps_God. Same with Instagram. Dante, let them know where they can find you.
Follow me on YouTube, Coach Dante, Instagram, Coach Dante31, and Twitter, Coach Dante31.
Yeah, and you can also follow this podcast at BlackOwned713 on Twitter as well. Like, subscribe, comment on the channel. Let us know your thoughts. Who is the best Houston Rockets player? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And see you guys. Have a great day.
Good night.